Welcome back, candidates. I'm Staff Sergeant Chamberlain. I'll do another episode here for, I really want to attack the WARNO today and look at the FLIR. Surely by this point you have gotten eyes on the Field Leader's Evaluation Report. That's what we call the FLIR, right? If you don't know where that is, it's in your CMP, the Class Management Plan. We're going to go with that. I'm pretty sure that's what CMP stands for. It's just the CMP, so sometimes we don't think about what all those letters stand for. But we wanted to look at the WARNO. I've got a couple requests about the WARNO and exactly what's supposed to go into it. So we're going to go over that, and then I'm going to cover the FLIR, where the WARNO kind of checks boxes for you. And then, I'll kind of look at some of the other stuff that I've used in the past as well. So this will be a pretty good little in-depth episode. We'll get some coffee and we'll get going.
Around, nowhere to go. Sitting around, nowhere to go. You're talking to Jane, you're talking to Joe. Talking to Jane, you're talking to Joe. And then my recruiter came to me. Say what you want to be. Say what you want to be. I told him mean and lean and green. Told him mean and lean.
All right, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to share screen here. And we are going to check out the WARNO first. Let me make this big. All right, so if you see right here on the screen, you should be seeing it. I believe you are. All right. The WARNO. First of all, I'll just show you this whole thing. So this was my template when I went through back in 2018-ish. I think it was 18. So back then at Phase 3, you could take a template. And so this is what I took. We got a version of this from the class before us. I went through and made it more automatic, I guess, which is, we broke the system. It didn't take but a couple years. And at Washington, at least, they were saying, okay, no more templates, because we had gotten so good at making templates, filling them out and briefing off of them, that, we were acing all these things. And then they started, giving us no-goes on other stuff. But when it came down to the brief, they basically deemed that they were no longer testing whether we could do a brief or not. They were testing whether we could read off of a sheet of paper. So whatever. But we had this template, and so I still used it in training. Oh, I used it all the way through. And even the next classes, I told them it's okay to use something like this. I came home and became a TAC. I didn't commission. Finished Phase 3. I did not commission though. So I came home and my state picked me up to be a TAC. So I gave this to the future classes, and I tell them to like practice with it, but don't use it as a crutch, right? So you want to know all of this stuff, and sometimes the only way to learn it in the right order and what pieces go where, you have to practice off of a complete plan like this. So if you'd never seen one completely laid out, you don't know what you don't know. So this was my template. This is how I learned all of the things that go into the op order, and it's helped me in many, many places. You may be thinking this is stupid and it's only in phase, only in OCS. It's definitely not, okay? Being able to spout off an op order has helped me in ALC when I went to go to my PME. So it helps a lot. Anyway, so you'll notice we have our mission statement here, the execution phase, concept of, the scheme maneuver, concept operations, et cetera, et cetera. But I still highly recommend you get something similar to this. I could probably even share this to you if you want to leave a comment down below and say, hey man, I really like that file. I'll send you the op order template. I definitely do not mind. You can't take it to Phase 3 now, at least not in Washington. I don't know about other cats, but as of right now, you cannot take this to Phase 3. But man, it sure does help you learn it, through and through. Something you can write down and have with you is questions that are important. Okay, so when you get to the end and they give you your, time is now, whatever, what are your questions? Okay, so here's where I listed questions that were pertinent on every mission, things I needed to do to check boxes on every mission, and then just a reminder to grab some other stuff. I always asked for a copy of the op order. I would always, can I have that op order? I've had it handed to me once when I was a candidate, and I've given it to one candidate when they requested it. Truth of the matter is, it's too much information for you. You've already taken the notes. You've already had it read to you. The time it takes you to go back and try to read it, it's useless. It's just kind of a little fun and games at that point. All right, so moving back down. So here's something else you'd always keep in your pocket: 9-line medevac. You will be the RTO at some point, and you definitely need to be able to perform those duties. And that means having a 9-line pre-filled to an extent. The squad leader is going to tell you on the map where he thinks an LZ would be for every single mission. Go ahead and write that in, right? Get your grid coordinates down. And then you can go through and fill it out if you do take injuries or whatever. 9-line UXO report, that's just something, I'm transportation, deployed as transportation a couple times, so we had to have these on us all the time. This one was pre-signed or pre-filled out by someone else. I think it's pretty accurate. I don't know. I haven't gone back and looked at it in many years, but anyway, we always had a version of this with us overseas, so just make sure that you want one of those at all times. So it'd be an IED/UXO report. Lace rule of 25, something else you can kind of teach your other candidate, your fellow candidates. It doesn't matter what rule you use, right? I didn't really like 25 because, I liked 25 because green is like this weird thing. Like some people want you to be amber as soon as you've shot a single round. Like, whoop, I'm not fully combat load now, so I can no longer be green. So it's just put a standard on it so everybody knew it in the whole group, and we could report that up. Anyway, on to what we came here for, the WARNO. So this is all that you need to put in your WARNO. It's listed on the screen there. The situation is going to be very, very quick, okay? How many? What are they wearing? What are they carrying? You can talk about what they're doing. If it's, patrols, or if it's anything besides just sitting around. If they're just, if we expect to go out there and find them sitting, guarding a side or something, I guess you could say that too. It doesn't take any extra time. Friendly squad, so they just want to know, quickly state where other people are around us, so we know that we'll be backed up by second squad, and third squad will have, reserve in the rear or whatever. They'll watch the alfalfa, whatever your op order says. Mission, it is imperative that this is your op order ready, like it is the full mission statement. So if anything else, sit down and get your mission statement written out. So remember, that will be we, or our squad, first squad, whatever, will conduct an attack on objective, whatever, in vicinity of wherever, no later than this time, in order to, and then give you in order to. Okay, so it should be that way every single time. All right, so that takes us to timeline. Like if you've watched my how to prep an op order, you saw my timeline there. I've altered it a few times throughout the years as I went through as a candidate, and now that I'm on the tax side, I have definitely changed the timeline some, but there's not a lot, right? We've taken rock drills out now because it's not real. So that just became rehearsals. Rock drills are very real. Let me rephrase that. But we just call it rehearsals altogether now. Okay, and that way we knock out our primary rehearsal. We're not wasting time trying to do a rock drill. And if someone has questions and they can't see the big picture walking through it, we can walk through a rock drill. So you can see there at plus 15 will be my op order. There's not a plus 5 on here for WARNO because you're giving the WARNO. They already know what time it is. They're sitting in it, right? PCCs, PCIs, we switch to the end eventually. So once again, this is an older format, or an older, yes, an older format, I guess. So PCCs, PCIs now go at the end. So we do all of our rehearsals without all of our kit on, right? We're not going to pick up our ruck and then go through rehearsals. We're not going to, we're about walking all that weight around. Most of your people will still be trying to like shove down an MRE or drink some water. You're carrying this ruck all day for 5, 6, 7, 10 days. There's no reason to be doing it for your rehearsals. So now we knock out our rehearsals. We put it all on and get ready to LD, and we quickly PCC and PCI. Now, you want to make sure there's still enough time left that if someone doesn't have something, they can get back to it, right? If you shake someone's canteen and it's empty, you need time to send them to get water. Hopefully, their team leaders were doing their job while you were receiving your op order and getting those filled. It's imperative that you have good team leaders and you can rely on them. But if not, make sure you have enough time to take care of your soldiers. So, op order, rehearsals, PCCs, PCIs, then we LD, and then time on objective will be listed there. Assigning tasks. So we just want to remember that the verbiage is team leader specific guidance. That's what it says in the FLIR, which we'll check out here in a minute. Okay. Some graders will take that as mission specific guidance, but it doesn't say that. Okay, at least not in the copy of the FLIR I have, but it says team leader specific guidance. So Alpha team and Bravo team, obviously that's who you're giving the Warno to, right? You're just giving it to your team leaders. Everyone else is still in security, so you're going to assign them tasks. They're always the same task. Alpha teams always aid in litter. Why is this? Well, it's just very easy to remember. And if you start changing stuff up, when people are on day 5 and they've been, pushing through the brush and carrying the 240 or the 249 and cross-loading ammo and all this stuff for all those days, they're going to be exhausted. Not to mention, I mean, you're going to walk, I think we averaged about 22 miles a day or something. Okay, so every day you're going to walk 22 miles carrying this rucksack. So make things simple, make them repetitive, make them where people don't have to, you almost get like a second nature. I just know that if I'm on Alpha, I'm aiding litter. Anyway, so Alpha's aiding litter. Alpha's also usually support by fire. They're always going to be primary pace and compass. Okay, those are things they have to do because they're in front. Okay, you don't want pace and compass coming from the guy in the rear, and now you've overran your ORP or your objective or whatever else. Primary pace and compass can quickly get distance and direction for your map recon. So this is something you can task out. You don't have to do this. You can put your protractor to the map and get your distance direction, or you can have your RTO do it. It doesn't matter. It's just another task you can delegate to help you save time. Bravo team is always going to be EPW. We primarily have them as the assault team. Once again, that can be flexible. And then they're the LZ team. So if I do need to send out a chopper, they're the ones that are going to, put down the panel or whatever, however you're marking it. You won't have a panel, so it might be smoke or something. And it's important to say that teams are secondary for any task they aren't directly assigned. So basically, if the other team has the job, you're the secondary to do the job. So additional info, you want to tell them what extra stuff you got from your grader or from the reader of the op order. Did they give you a copy of a map? So we always tell people ask for like UAV surveillance, ask for satellite imaging, ask for anything you want, okay? All they can say is no. At some point, you're wasting your time. You're asking a whole bunch of questions that is just eating up your op order time or time until your op order. But sometimes it's nice, right? So if you got a map, did you get smokes? What equipment are we going on this mission with? Right? If it's an ambush, did I ask for claymores? Am I doing it with an AT4? Are we going to initiate with a machine gun? Or if I'm just going to initiate with a grenade, what are we initiating with, right? If it's a recon, let them know, hey, we got binoculars. I got extra sets of binoculars so everybody can use them. Whatever the things are that you got additional, make sure you put that out. Also, target reference point. This is a great place to put your target reference point information out. You should already have a name, the coordinates, trigger, what ammo, and I'm drawing a blank to what else there is, but how many guns, I guess, or what size gun. So there's already things that you know about your target reference point that you can tell your team leaders. You don't have to be artillery officer to get this stuff done, right? You're just giving them basic info so that if you died, they could carry out your mission from the get-go, realistically, right? But especially if things go crazy when you're on the X, they know all the tools they have available to them. All right, and then op order, time, place, and who should be available or who should come. So audience, right? That is in the FLIR as well. So you have to say all of those things: where, when, and who needs to be there. And it's just going to be everyone if you requested security, which is listed right below that. Okay, request security for op order now. The Warno is kind of your last chance to do that with most graders, okay, or lane walkers. Now, some of them say, nope, you had your chance to ask questions. I'm off limits now. They're just trying to play the game too, hua, right? You realistically should be able to ask for that at any time. If you're asking for third squad to come give you security so you can do your op order, what would that feel like in the real world, right? If you're on a little, a JCOP or something, and you need people come from the other side of the stinking fob, well, that's not going to take too long, but it also isn't immediate. Okay, give them 5 or 10 minutes. So that's why it's important that you ask either when they say, what are your questions, or right now at the Warno, so they have 10 minutes to notionally put in some security. If you forget to do that, make sure you don't pull everybody up for your op order, right? You're going to have to brief your team leaders, and they have to go brief their teams, which makes things quite hairy and really works on your time management. Anyway, so that's the Warno. This is the one that we push out through our folks. It checks all the boxes. It gives you the pertinent information, and realistically, it just prepares your soldiers for what's coming. All right, so I'm going to change the share here, and we are going to go to the FLIR. All right, should have full screen FLIR now, I think. Yes, we do. All right, so this is the FLIR. This is the test that you are taking at Phase 3, okay? You're going to take it several times at Phase 2. This is not secret information. It is not hidden information. It's in the CMP. When you signed at the very beginning of OCS and said that I will complete all tasks that, are signed, blah, 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 blah. This is what you're saying you'll do, okay? You're saying that you will get all these boxes checked, a go, and you'll get out of here with a go or a no-go. Well, a go or an S or an E, I should say. So we'll cover some more of these at other times. There's some stuff in here that is very, very, I don't know if you want to call it subjective, but it is. Okay, so they've tried to make it as objective as possible. This is a big upgrade from an older version. This is actually 2 or 3 years ago's version. The questions are all the same. It just fills out the sheet now. It's bigger, but anyway, they tried to take a lot of that subjectiveness out of it to give us graders a chance to be fair and equal, right? Because the fact of the matter is we're supposed to determine whether you become a lieutenant or not. So they came out with this very objective form. There's still some objectivity left in it. But primarily, it's pretty straightforward. So if we go to warning order, and we're going to talk about some initiate movement as well, but in warning order, okay, this is where we start identifying if the WARNO I gave you earlier checks all the boxes. So state squad mission, okay? Remember, that needs to be the actual mission statement that you plan to use in your op order. Just get it done quickly and be done with it. Provides a planning timeline. Well, we talked about that timeline, right? Provides additional available info. We said map, smoke, did I get binoculars, whatever. Provides team leader specific guidance. This is where you're telling them what their extra teams are. If they're pace and compass, whatever. So this is where some people try to make it mission specific guidance. So then you may have to say, hey, you're going to be support by fire on this attack. I need you to, work on your talking guns, rehearse that or whatever. And we'll get into rehearsals in just a moment. And then states time, place, and audience for order to be issued. If you don't use any of those 3, you're not going to get this check. Okay, so we're looking to check the S. Ask your grader what can get you an E here. Some people say if you give the perfect WARNO, I'll give you all E's. Some will say there's no way to get an E on, providing a planning timeline or whatever. So just kind of ask your grader what they want. We move down to initiate movement. This is other stuff we have to do in our WARNO because there's no other place to really do it. Okay, you've got 15 minutes until you start an op order. And so it kind of makes things hard to fit in all of these boxes, right? So this is where we start doing things in the WARNO as well. So initiate movement, conducts initial inspections. So we have our candidates just reach over and check those team leaders right now, okay? I'm doing PCCs, PCIs on my team leader while we're in the WARNO. Your water's full, okay, I can check that. Make sure that all of your soldiers have their water full. Show me your ammo real quick. Show me your gloves, your iPro. So I can check all these things and make sure that my team leaders look up to snuff. And then I can send them out and say, make sure everyone in your team looks just like this. Now I have done my initial inspections. Conducts rehearsals. Rehearsals is on here twice, okay? So you're going to see rehearsals here under initiate movement. You're also going to see it over here under supervise and assess. My computer's not going to let me highlight it very well, right? So rehearsals on there twice. So this one on the left under initiate movement, we hand out these rehearsals now. So we tell them, go practice your aid and litter. Go practice your support by fire. Go practice your LZ team, okay? These are things we need you to rehearse. Don't say practice, say rehearse. But that way we have checked a box for us. But also, if it comes down to it needing a mission, those guys know what they're doing. It's a fine line in OCS between checking boxes and trying to make it as real life as possible. You don't want to go through this just checking boxes and being a robot and not taking it serious. And then conduct a contingency plan. Okay, so you may put out a pace plan here. Giving the alternate to the primary and alternate all the taskings, that's a contingency plan, right? A contingency plan is just something that, what's plan B, right? So pace and compass, primary is alpha is plan A, with it being Bravo, that's plan B. That's contingency, okay? So you don't have to get too extravagant on your contingency here. You're probably going to check this box later in your op order anyways. A lot of graders will be checking through these boxes down here under issue the order. And as soon as you give an alternate route or something like that, they'll come back and check that box. So not super important to grab that one here, but it can help and move you on your way. All right, so that covers all the content of what should be in your Warno. So remember, we're doing our situation. We're giving our full mission statement. It is prepared. It is already ready for the op order. Okay, so it's 5-part mission statement, the 5 W's. We have to give a full timeline. Okay, so that's op order and beyond, all the way through LD and then objective, and any other taskings you have. So if you catch a mission that is an attack, and then defend in place, so one will be at H plus 80 and the next one will be H plus 90. That's got to be in there too. Okay, and then assign tasks. Remember, those need to be team leader specific. So Alpha team, you are going to be support by fire. I need you to rehearse these things as well. I want you to rehearse your aid and litter. You're going to be my primary pace and compass. Bravo team, you're going to be EPW. You're going to be the assault team and the LZ team. I want you to rehearse 2 out of the 3 or whatever. Okay. Make sure they know that they're secondary for any task that they're not already assigned. That checks that contingency box. Give them their additional info, op order, time, place, and who should be there. And so, audience. And then make sure you request your security. We're reaching over and doing a quick PCC, PCI on our team leaders. That gets our initial inspections, and we send them on their way to go do that for their teams. That should just about cover it in the Warno. If, like I said earlier, if you need a copy of this template, I am 100% okay with sending it out. It's a product that I received for free, and I just modified it and made it better to my liking. You can change it. I'll send you a Word document. You can change it. It's made to be printed out. Landscape on 11 by 8.5 paper, and then I took it to FedEx or UPS or whatever and had it cut and then laminated, and I just bound it all together and took it with me. So if you do decide to make something, I ask that you just make a couple of them, pass them out to your friends, okay, or your cohorts, and just be helpful for everybody. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, tell your other cohorts about it, other candidates, tell your tax about it. Make sure that what I'm saying to you matches what they're saying. Okay, they may be teaching you something different. This is just our way that's worked for us. Just want to make sure we're spreading the news and helping as many candidates as possible get through OCS. All right, we'll see you next time.